Okay, first of all, good morning everyone. Can you hear me? It's a small room, you should be able to hear me anyway. And I'd just like to welcome you to a special day today. That day is obviously Friday, the 8th of April. And today we are going to have a very historic day. The reason that is we have two leaders of Fiji. And not just two leaders, but two compassionate leaders who believe in love, forgiveness, and compassion. And without any further ado, you obviously know both of these very esteemed gentlemen. I would ask Mr. Sitiveni Rabuka, the party leader of the People's Alliance, to please deliver your speech. Thank you, sir.
Naka. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press corps and senior members of the National Federation Party and founding members of the People's Alliance. Thank you for coming to this press conference. The entire country now knows that the People's Alliance Party, I will try and avoid using party because we are registered as the People's Alliance. The entire country now knows that the People's Alliance and the National Federation Party have reached an agreement to work together. I made a brief announcement of this at the People's Alliance Assembly in Nosori 2 weeks ago. The plan was warmly welcomed by almost 2,000 members of our party. Senior members of the National Federation Party were also present at that function. Professor Biman Prasad, the National Federation Party leader, was at that first convention. There was further reference to the agreement by the Honorable Professor Biman at the National Federation Party's big annual convention at the weekend. I also spoke then about what it all means for Fiji. All those National Federation Party supporters welcomed the agreement with accolades. Today, we gather for this announcement of what we have been discussing for several months. The Honorable Professor Biman Prasad and I will sign a joint statement that will be circulated to you, gentlemen and ladies of the press corps. But before that, I'm issuing my own commentary as People's Alliance Party leader. And also, Honorable Professor Biman will do the same thing. This Memorandum of Understanding is a very important step in Fiji's political rebirth. It also sets out a new path for the governance of our nation, the new mode of governance for our nation. The MOU underscores the vast differences between our two parties and the two people who control the government of today. We are now committed to working together to advance the well-being and the aspirations of the people. We have a basis for cooperation through combining thoughts, ideas, and talents to give Fiji the best outcomes. When disagreements arise, they will be managed and resolved, bearing in mind the broader interests of the people and their expectations. We have done that before. The dictatorial duo controlling the disastrous direction of Fiji at the moment could never be party to this kind of democratic initiative. They have no interest in joining with others to tackle the country's many problems. They just want complete control for as long as possible. As we know, this has led us into a state of crisis that grips virtually every aspect of national life. it is our intention to win enough support to form a government. We will govern through discussion, through dialogue, and through debate and compromise when necessary. The views of the people will always be paramount. They are ultimately in charge. What they say must be respected. We will ensure that democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the people, works as it should. Right now, Fiji is a democracy in name only. Those in power have no appreciation or understanding of it. A government led by the People's Alliance and the National Federation Party will bring to an end nighttime incarcerations of those who express views that the government does not like. We will scrap oppressive legislation and ensure democratic rights and freedoms of the people are protected. These will become fundamental to the tolerant, open, caring form of nationhood to which we aspire. A PA-NFP government will be guided by the principle that all human beings are born free and equal. It will stand against racism, discrimination, and prejudice. We will seek to create an enduring culture of inclusivity, respect, and concern for those in need. There will be frequent consultations right across the community. We want to hear all views. Let me repeat today that the people of Fiji need each other. We have been separated by our differences for too long. Now is the time for a united, all-embracing approach to making Fiji everything we wish it to be. This is what the announcement today represents. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir. And now I call upon the Honourable Professor Biman Prasad, of the party leader of the National Federation Party, to please give us your words. Thank you.
The leader of the People's Alliance, founding members of the People's Alliance, the NFP President, Honorable P.O. Tikunduandua, veteran politician, Mr. Krishna Dutt, our General Secretary, Ms. Seni Nambo, and I also acknowledge General Secretary Rabuka. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, today marks the official beginning of a new era, not just for our two political parties, but for our country. Our two parties are Fiji's oldest and youngest. We combine the long experience of political activism and striving for the rights of the people with the enthusiasm and energy of the new People's Alliance. Any two political groups can work together and cooperate. We will sign this Memorandum of Understanding today, and we will be sharing it with Fiji's people today, because this is the way we want to lead. We want to look to the future with combined vision, shared with the people, and which we will execute with cooperation, consultation, and dialogue. We will not just cooperate and consult with each other, we will do the same with everyone, because we will listen to and respect the views of everyone, even those who disagree with or dislike us. This is our biggest point of difference with the Fiji First government of today. Fiji First government rules by fear. It consults no one. and it concentrates power in the hands of two men. Our vision means a Fiji where parents should not worry how they will put food on the table for their children. Our vision means a Fiji where equality, dignity, and justice prevail at all times. Our vision means that our people will be able to visit a public medical health facility and be provided decent care and the right drugs. Our vision is of a strong commitment to improved education, which is the catalyst for future economic growth. Our vision means every citizen enjoys the basic human rights and freedoms, including political participation, without being afraid of arrest, personal attack, or reprisal from government and state agencies. And our vision means that our people have the economic means to have productive lives, to afford good food and other essentials, to have good health, to aspire to owning a home, to enjoy time with their loved ones and friends, and for those who seek to find deeper meaning in their religious worship. We have just finished another week in Parliament in which all of the toxic, negative characteristics of our government have been on full display. They rammed through 2 new tax laws on a day's notice. Those laws fixed the mistakes in the earlier laws that they had rammed through in the same way. The 2 leaders of our nation ranted against their opponents inside and outside of Parliament. They unashamedly played the politics of race through their tame media outlets. Their policies lack imagination. They cannot deliver on their boastful promises, and they lie without compunction. This is what our people are tired of. This is the tone and character of our leadership that we need to change. The pre-election working relationship is just a preview of what we can collectively do in government to rebuild our divided country. Both our parties want to work for a free, stable, well-governed, and genuinely democratic Fiji. Because until Fiji is in this state, we cannot achieve our vision. We understand people's cynicism and fatigue with politics. And we know that the government will attack us because they are now afraid of us. They are in a panic mode. But our focus is on the tens of thousands of Fijians with hope in their hearts for a better, united, prosperous future for themselves and their children. United, the people of Fiji can become a mighty force.
Yep.
We can do anything. Everywhere we hear the people tell us, work together. We are delivering on that demand today. We are taking the first step to bring our country together for a brighter future. The people of Fiji are right now looking at their next government, a government that cares for what the people want, a government that understands that its role is not to win at all costs, but to listen, to respond, and to serve. We will, ladies and gentlemen, work together, cooperate with each other before the election, and we will be in government after it, together as a government of the people, for the people, by the people. May God bless Fiji.
Nara. Date correct?
I hope so.
The same one we had seen the draft of?
Yeah.
Nobody sneaked in any.
That's it.
Aku made it on good, eh?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I give you one. With your copy.
Thank you very much.
Sir, face the camera this side.
You want the signed page or what?
Yeah, that's what they want.
Okay. Tell them when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Okay? Naga.
Thank you.
I think the media should give them a round of applause.
Who called me from FBC?
Someone.
Somebody. When you want to ask the Prime Minister where he's going to have his press conference, do you call him or you call the Ministry of Information? Okay.
Okay. Now, our two leaders will take questions. Have a seat, sir.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but please, you must, because this is a historic moment, please keep the subject to what we've discussed today and what was said in their speeches. I'm sure you understand that. So, who's the first person with any questions?
Mr. Prasad.
MOU signing. Is
Yeah.
this a coalition between NFP and allies?
Do you understand the Constitution?
Because yesterday, Unity Fiji leader had highlighted the signing of the MOU that they signed between Fiji Labour Party and Federation was just a working together agreement, not a coalition. Could you just clarify if this is a coalition between NFP and People's Alliance?
Winaka, on my part, it purely a memorandum of understanding. It's different from a coalition. The memorandum of understanding may talk about the coalition after the election. You know that our laws do not allow pre-election coalitions. So a coalition is a partnership of different parties. We're not allowed to be a partnership fighting an election. We can be a partnership after the election. What do you think? You're in Parliament, I'm not.
Mr. Rabuka is absolutely right. You should all by now know that under these electoral laws, pre-election coalitions are not allowed. But what we have said very clearly is that we are working together already, and as announced in both our respective conventions and AGMs, which is a pre-election arrangement. And this memorandum of understanding lays down the framework under which the People's Alliance and the NFP will form the government after the election. So that is the agreement that we have signed today. And this memorandum of understanding lays out the kind of government that these two parties are going to form after the election. We want to make that very clear.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good morning, Mariani from Fiji Once. Both of you mentioned about your intentions to form a new government. On that note, will you be having a joint manifesto that will set out your plans for when you do get into power?
Well, as I said, the two parties, obviously, because of the law, Because of the single national constituency, we don't have constituencies, so we can't share seats. So the bottom line is you can't have a pre-election coalition to share your ability to fight the election in that sense. So the two parties will fight the election on their own. We will go for every single vote that is out there, but we will also be working together on a number of issues during the election, and we may even have joint campaign rallies. We may work together on election issues. So that is all already an understanding, and we are doing that already. This Memorandum of Understanding lays down the foundation for a government after the election. That's what we are saying. And it doesn't stop the leaders and members of the two political parties to talk about manifestos, to talk about policies, because we have a shared vision, as we pointed out, as Mr. Rabuka pointed out, as I pointed out, we have a shared vision. We are putting out the vision to the people. We are telling them this is the kind of government you can expect after the election.
On my part, I'd like you ask specifically about the manifestos of the two parties. We have separate manifestos, but we have seen that there is harmony. We have the same common objective, that is the nation. We want to tell our voters, this is what we stand for. They will tell their voters, this is what we stand for. And the new requirements of the law obligates us to say how much it will cost the nation and where we're going to get the cost from.
Okay. In your organisation?
Lavinia with my TV. We talked about partnership, building partnership towards in the lead up to elections. Just curious to know as to why you have not extended hand to the other parties. I believe Unity Fiji.
Why are you winking at me like that?
Unity Fiji had approached, had extended the same sort of wanted to build.
We had worked with them. In fact, the door is still open. We had worked with the leader of Unity Fiji, and we're still working with them as far as we're concerned. We respond to their questions, and for me, suddenly the shutter came down. We were still in the middle of our talks when he went and signed an agreement with somebody else. And then I believe lately they have sent a list of their names, or their possible candidates, to another party. So I do not know where we stand in that.
So the signing of agreement, it rules out any
No, it does not.
alliance with any other.
It does not. As far as I'm concerned.
Mr. Rabuka has answered that question, but if you get a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding that we've signed, it's very clear that after the election, the door is always open to other opposition political parties.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Lina from FBC. The Prime Minister has said that he is confident he will win the next election. So much so that he also said that the two leaders who are addressing the media today need to recognize his position. Just your comments as the media have both the leaders that were mentioned.
Has he ever played competitive sports? Nobody goes onto the field thinking they're going to lose. We're going in thinking the same as he is thinking. We're going in to win.
Yeah.
Hey, President? How many?
So, just while we have you here, very quickly, Prime Minister also questioned how PA and NFP, PA and NFP, thank you for correcting me, intend to make this this partnership work under Fiji's electoral process.
Under Fiji Constitution?
The electoral process.
Sorry?
Under Fiji's electoral process.
It complies. It complies. It is not a coalition. It's a memorandum of understanding this side of the election.
That question shows that he doesn't even understand his own constitution. And I want to tell FBC that I hope you put this comment because when you ask a question, you need to take that on as our response and behave like an independent state broadcaster.
Understood.
Okay.
He's also mentioned about how getting rid of Fiji First is clamoring for leadership and has nothing to do with helping Fijians. Again, we're just trying to get balance and comments from all sides.
It's about politics, sorry.
So he had mentioned that People's Alliance and NFP, the partnership is about getting rid of Fiji First and has been nothing about helping Fijians.
Look at our history. My history as a politician and Federation Party policy as a political party. It's for Fiji.
Last question, anyone else?
This partnership is to get rid of the mess that they have created in this country.
Okay, that's it. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I still have questions, and we don't usually get this opportunity to answer,
Yeah.
to get our questions answered, let alone balance. So what we
Balance.
do, yes.
Yeah, balance. Okay, all right. It's balanced.
So very quickly, the Prime Minister.
You just lost your job as a press conference
I think
organizer.
so, yeah. That's your last question.
The Prime Minister also said that, the Minister for Economy and the Fiji First General Secretary, he is of the belief that Mr. Rabuka is the de facto leader of NFP. And he says, NFP and People's Alliance are separate political entities. It's obvious that one person calls the shots. Just your comments on this.
I do not dictate to a National Federation Party, and tomorrow night I announce my own deputy leader of People's Alliance.
Okay.
Well, he should understand better what de facto means, and he knows what a de facto leader means in his own political party.
Last question.
Here, here.
You okay? All right, that's it then. Thank you very much.
Sorry, would
Thank
you
you.
be able to get comments from Mr. Amrit with regards to
Yeah.
claims
Hey,
that were
hey,
made
you're
by the Prime Minister?
that's a different person.
No, that's fine. You can. The bottom line is I left it with my lawyers, and if you can go onto Grubsheet or whatever sites they are, you'll probably see a message there that's already been put out to the media. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
Naka.
Naka.
Lovely.
Nana.
Yeah, as long as it's, yeah.
Can we get some more photos?
Oh, okay. Oh, shaking hands. Oh,
With this?
with this.
Boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And
No, the other way. The other way.
The other way.
Yeah, this way. Otherwise, you, yeah.
okay, and just
To victory.
and.